2023 metal predictions. Noises, inaudible breakdowns, and more canceled vocalists. Let's go. We're talking facts here. And speaking of facts, did you know that only 55% of you are subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Come hang out. We talk the metal, the noises, the good time. So to start out, we all know what happened this year, all right? Lorna Shore exists, and it happened. They did the thing, the noises, all of that, and they dropped their album, and it really got the scene talking because this is a heavy album, right? But the thing about this album is it kind of put the stamp on melodic deathcore, where of course there's still like traditional deathcore and a lot of slam moments on that album, but there's a lot of just melody infusion and symphony, which again bands have been experimenting with for quite a while, but I don't think they've really took it to the point of Lorna taking it, especially with like The Pain Remains one, where I think going into this next year, 2023, I really think is going to be the year of like melodic deathcore, almost similar to how in the 2000s and some of the best music ever, bands like Killswitch, Bullet for My Valentine, Atreyu, I guess, Under Oath, August Burns Red, were taking metalcore from Converge and all that stuff like hardcore and applying a lot of melody to it and basically making melodic metalcore. I think we're finally going to see the age of melodic deathcore, where a lot of bands are going to be making these crazy, heavy, fast-paced with disgusting low-tuned breakdown songs, but also that have like this crazy amount of emotion embedded into it that isn't just anger. Something that's been creeping up, no doubt, is Thaw, which is weird because Valyarta, Cal, and Bustercore, like, I mean, they've been releasing stuff for so long. And a lot of bands, especially in like the modern metalcore scene, are starting to use Thaw instead of like djent. Thaw is really replacing djent, which, you know, is involving a lot of elongating bends like, and then also like these interesting like tremolo note like slides like stuff like that, but also a lot of atmosphere. Again, a lot of emotion. I think breakdowns are not going to be as much like slammy, dun dun dun. There's still going to be slammy breakdowns. But I think Thaw is going to be the main go-to for breakdowns, as some bands have been transitioning. I mean, like alt, invent, animate, and I think Thaw is going to be a big thing this next year. Alongside that, I also think post-hardcore music in general has had the weirdest like resurgence ever. Like post-hardcore music, you know, bands with the and the R&B, you know, kind of singing, basically Johnny Craig, but hopefully you don't get canceled, as well as like instrumentals that are very, you know, like they might have breakdowns, but they're very melodic. Some of them have Linkin Park-core kind of vibes to them. And I mean, you see it with Bad Omens exploding. You see it with Dayseeker. And you see it just from a lot of these kind of newer bands, even 1,000 Below. Basically a lot of bands, even on the Bad Omens tours, just gaining a lot of popularity and killing it, and people wanting that emotional, huge chorus while still having, you know, fun, lower tuned-ish, chunky riffs tied in between, maybe screaming here and there. And to tie with all that, I also think shoegaze, I mean, is going to be a big thing, which again, shoegaze, it's just very ambient, you know, a lot of guitar effectsy music. A lot of people call it kind of Deftones shoegaze. Chino's voice is really shoegaze. I wouldn't say the instrumentals are necessarily shoegaze, but Loathe is a good example of a band that really mixes like shoegaze mixed with like Meshuggah. And I think a lot more bands are going to start to meld shoegaze into just weird, fun stuff. I mean, there was an album that didn't come out a couple years ago that I did hear, or 2 years ago, was last year. Lotus Eater, got a little canceled, where even a lot of stuff on there, it was like pisscore, and then it had these shoegaze atmospheric moments. So I think emotion's always been important in music, but I think in the metal scene particular this year is going to just be one of the most important things that people are looking for, that they want to connect with heavy music. Now when it comes to bands specifically, I mean, I'm going to be straight up. I think Brand of Sacrifice is going to kind of just win this year. Like, they've been doing such great stuff for so long, but they haven't had like necessarily their Lorna Shore moment just yet. But seeing what they're doing, seeing the numbers they're getting, they're at like 600,000 monthly as a really, really heavy deathcore band that's really diverse, that gets low, that gets disgusting. They've done collabs with like We Came as Romans. They're on TikTok doing really cool content, actually, as well as they have their whole merch line that is, I'm assuming, doing very well because they're collaborating with all these artists as well. And that last single they released was just a banger. They started to incorporate a little bit of cleans in there as well, but they did it very tastefully. I think they're going to have a huge moment this year. And other than that, I mean, Loathe, like, where y'all been? I just saw them on tour. Amazing show. Like, they have a vibe. Again, killing it both with that shoegaze, the emotion, but the heaviness. Very modern, very artsy, but very, very heavy moments. If they, come out of this year with something new, like, they're gonna be killing it. I mean, I went back and I saw some of their Spotify numbers, which, again, I always thought of Loathe as like a popular band in more of the underground modern metal scene. I didn't realize their last album, every song on there has over like 1 million streams, and some of those songs have 10 million streams. They're going and having a really cool moment without even dropping much, other than that one song at the beginning of the year, which was interesting to say the least. Besides them, of course, Spirit Box has just been already doing their thing. I mean, their EP this year was pretty cool, but I think next year, if they do drop anything, which again, I don't actually know if they will, but if they do drop anything, I think they're just going to kind of continue the train. And I can't mention exciting things without talking about Darko US. Like, 2-man band plus producer, and they are just killing it. They released their album this year, one of my favorites of the year, no doubt, which was, again, a mix of a lot of things I'm talking about, actually. It had those pissed moments, those Danza chaotic moments, and then it had these vibey shoegaze moments. It had some, like, little minor Thaw moments and all that, and it was emotional, but super disgustingly heavy, and had all the noises. And it was a lot of production, very production-based, which I feel like is also going to be a trend kind of going forward, where these really, really heavy bands are not going to be shy of using, like, R&B samples or like very vibey indie samples over breakdowns. It's going to be even harder to distinguish one song from deathcore or metalcore or djent or Thaw or whatever. I think it's really just going to turn into this big, fun, disgusting field of breakdowns and emotion and big choruses and just fun, crazy riffs. TikTok is part of this as well, which, you got to accept it or not. Bands are getting big just even off TikTok, and bands that are already big are just going like even bigger. There's a huge alt and metal scene on there, even if some of it's cringe. I mean, so is YouTube, so is everywhere else. Metal can be cringe too. I mean, we went through MySpace and the Warp Tour days. Honestly, TikTok is child's play. Vocalists, oh my god, how good vocalists are getting is ridiculous too. It's like the standard is you have to be able to do like 5 animal zoo noises plus 3 zombie noises you heard in movies plus like 5 demon noises you heard from Doom. Like the vocal standard is ridiculous, and that's going to get pushed even further this year. The guitarists are crazy good. It's basically a noisemaker though. Drummers have to be able to do everything, rip, and bassists have to be able to launch their MacBooks. So yeah, I mean, crazy year. I'm looking forward to it. I want the heavies. I want the emotions. I want to feel sad. I want to feel happy. And I want to just get absolutely pounded. 2023, pound me. Yes. Be sure to comment your metal predictions for 2023, whether it's band predictions, specific instruments that are going to be more popular, styles that are going to be more popular, clothing styles, whatever it might be. Comment down below what you guys think is going to be happening next year.